What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and the mainstream comic book industry is effectively dead. They are just barely clinging to life, and ideas like this, the new comic book by Emilia Clarke, is exactly the reason that people are fleeing mainstream comics, going to independent comics, and buying manga, things that are free of identity politics and virtue signaling and woke garbage. Take a look at this. I don't think anyone could have really predicted that this would be the announcement we got yesterday. Emilia Clarke is doing a comic book, and I don't know exactly who this is supposed to appeal to. You can see from the headline, Emilia Clarke's debut comic book follows a single mom whose secret weapon is her period. And it only gets worse from the headline, if I'm being honest with you. Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones fame, obviously done a few other things, but that's how almost everybody knows her at this point. I don't think too many people are referencing her great work as Kira in Solo, a Star Wars failure, but she has decided that she is going to do a comic book, and Image Comics is going to have her do this little run, and I don't know who this is made for other than other super turbo feminists who do not care about comic books. As a kid in London, Emilia Clarke got a distinct vibe from her local comic book shop. No girls allowed. Really. And it always comes down to something like this. We weren't allowed in the space, so now we need to invade this space and make it for us. There are women that really enjoy and really love comic books, but the reason they love it isn't because there's stories that are geared towards them. It's because they like it because of what it is. What happens with so many of these properties is these activists go in there and they try to change something to appeal to a different group of people. But unfortunately, in the process, you will lose your main target audience, your diehards that have been there with you from the beginning. Listen to what Emilia Clarke says. I read a lot of fantasy novels full of rich worlds as a child, like Lord of the Rings. That was always the place my imagination would gravitate toward. Later on, when I went to Comic-Con for the first time at 22 with Game of Thrones, I was amazed at what I saw. Almost entirely men. Later, as the tides turned in the industry and the Me Too emerge, and hashtag Me Too emerge, who cares? Who gives a fuck about that? What does that have to do with anything? I began to look at the community through the eyes, and it was arresting. Mom, Mother of Madness, will publish in July from Image Comics, co-written by Clarke and Margaret Bennett, with art from Layla Lees. In doing my research, I found that 16% of comic book creators are female, according to a 2019 study, and only 30% of comic book characters are women. On the other hand, roughly half of comic book buyers are female. Something did not sit right with me in that exchange, and all these signs were telling me to make my own. Wait till we get to these powers, guys. You want to talk about ridiculous virtue signaling, disgusting, that nobody cares about? This is it. She's a single mom that gets shit done. This was born from the idea that single mothers are superheroes. You need superhuman strength to do that. When you get into your 30s and your friends start having kids, you're like, oh my god, I was not aware of what it took. Holy shit. Another key identifier for the character is that all her powers manifest from her menstrual cycle. Yes, it is entirely focused on a single mother's period, and that is what gives her powers. So before we get into that, I kind of want to talk about what she said. According to her research, all these things, roughly half of comic book buyers are female. I don't really know where that's coming from, to be honest with you, because honestly, my anecdotal evidence, I can't really say that that's the truth. I cannot say that that's what I've experienced. Again, there are a lot of comic book fans that are female, of course, but half? Not from what I've seen. When you go back to 2017, this is Rich Johnston. I don't think that he's someone who's really going to fudge the numbers to make it look like there's way more men. He says 63% of comics are bought by men, 37% by women, and when you talk about in stores, look at all these damn ads. Fucking bleeding cool. God dang. But anyway, he goes on to say that when you actually look, and I can't even see because there's so many ads. What a broken website. But anyway, in stores, it's more like 75% men. When you go look at different numbers, like who are comic book fans, this is from a 2019 study. Same thing that she's talking about. This says that 44% of men in general consider themselves comic book fans, when only 24% of women consider themselves comic book fans. So just based on those numbers, it's tough to believe that 50% of the buyers are female, unless we're counting manga. Maybe we're counting manga. Maybe they have a higher female rate of buying. Either way, I don't really know where this shit is coming from. And definitely when you're talking about the mainstream comic book industry, that's not the case. But listen to the menstrual cycle superpowers. The bloating, the hair growth, the mood swings, the acne, all of it. We hate when that happens, speaking for myself and everyone I've ever met who has a period. What if we can turn that around and made the period something we can feel as this unique, crazy, superhuman thing happen to our body? When Maya is scared, she goes invisible. When she's angry, she has superhuman strength. This is the kicker. She can swing like Spider-Man from her armpit hair, Clarke says. She can swing like Spider-Man from her armpit hair. That's really what we're going with now. We're going with someone whose period is their superpower. Some gross weirdo who is swinging with their armpit hair like Spider-Man. What? Who wants this? Who is this for? This is not going to sell anything. It doesn't matter if you get a name like Emilia Clarke in there. This is not going to sell. This story sounds ridiculous. Who is this for other than other fringe turbo feminists? I'm not sure. Through both lenses, Clarke and her creative team sought to lionize the single mom, whose media depiction is usually one of struggle, sadness, and efforts to rebalance her life with a male partner. When it comes to menzies, the actor thinks it's way past time we normalize something that over half the world population experiences. In the upcoming editions of a 3-part comic miniseries, Maya utilizes inflated boobs to help thwart a human trafficking ring. Woo! Big tits. I don't know. I don't know if you're allowed to do that, Emilia Clarke. You might offend some of these people you're trying to appeal to if you use large breasts as some type of depiction of a woman. How dare you? But of course, it's going to be very empowering then, isn't it? Who wants this bullshit? Nobody wants this. This is going to be an absolute disaster. It's disgusting. Her secret weapon is her period, and she swings using her armpit hair like Spider-Man. Listen, all the women I've seen react to this, they are saying the same thing I'm saying. What the fuck? This is disgusting. I'm not interested in any way, shape, or form. This is gonna bomb, and it's gonna be really funny when it does. This is why the industry is failing. This is why so many industries are failing, because instead of catering to their fans, who some of them are indeed women, because they like what that is, instead what they're doing is they're trying to recreate it. They're trying to change it from the inside, and they are driving away all of their actual fans in search of these people who will never buy anything. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. I'll talk to you guys later.